We are soon to witness the triumphant return of an incredible fighter who usually battles overseas, and that man is the monster, Naoya Inoue, as he will officially be headlining Las Vegas on May 4th against Ramon Cardenas. As usual, I'll be handing this over to my co-hosts. Now, let's talk boxing.
Naoya Inoue is finally back in the USA after a 4-year layoff, of course fighting back in his hometown of Japan. It's crazy because we finally get to see the monster and what he has to bring to the city of Las Vegas.
It's awesome to see a pound-for-pound fighter, especially a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter, come from Japan all the way to Vegas to fight in front of everybody.
And it's also great because, we're finally going to really see a lot of people, what's the fair word to say? A lot of people criticize Naoya Inoue because they say, oh, we don't know who he fights. Of course, a lot of the time it's because we really don't watch that lower weight division, at least a lot of the casual fans.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are saying, when is he going to come to the USA? When is he going to finally fight a proven name? Well, guess what? He's finally going to come and he's going to be fighting the likes of Ramon Cardenas. Of course, a guy that many haven't heard of, but he does fight on Pro Box.
Cardenas looks interesting. He's going to give Inoue some issues because it looks like he has the fundamentals more down than Inoue. I feel like that leaves a little bit less openings. But Inoue, he's more athletic. He has more openings than this man.
I just feel like a lot of the time, Naoya Inoue's offense is his defense. He's so good at offense that he doesn't really even care about his defense because he knows he's going to overwhelm the fighters he's in there with. A lot of the time, Naoya Inoue, talking about, the fundamentals, he does almost everything right. It's hard to really spot a hole in Naoya Inoue's game. But I guess that's the good part. The fact that he's going to come to the USA, he's going to get a new crowd of fans. We're going to really see what he's built out of, the different environment, the fact that the fans are a little less respectful over here on this side. I feel like they're just a little bit more ruthless. If you're doing something bad, they're going to call it out, and they don't care who you are. They've even booed the likes of Floyd Mayweather and Canelo, who barely do anything wrong. So, of course, that's the exciting factor. Is Inoue ready for the States is the real question.
Now, my question is to you is that if this sells like crazy and Inoue becomes a star out here in the U.S., where does this lead?
We know he's already a 2-time undisputed fighter. He's won multiple belts in multiple weight divisions, but it's time for him to finally fight that mega fight that we're looking for. And I don't think that there's a better person to fight than 2 names, which is 1, Bam Rodriguez, and 2, Nakatani. I think both of those fights make complete sense, especially Nakatani, a fellow Japanese. They can make it in the Tokyo Dome back in Japan, and they can make a mega fight. I do know that Nakatani, of course, he's 1 weight division below Inoue at 118, and Bam's 2 weight divisions below. But you know what? Who cares? When you got great fighters like this, who doesn't want to see those great matchups?
And they're all around the same weight class. It doesn't really matter, just like Bam being 2 weight divisions under.
It's only really like 5-pound difference.
Exactly.
Right?
He could be competitive up to 10 pounds.
A lot of people always want to say, oh, why not throw him in there with Lomachenko or Gervonta Davis? I think those people really need to do their homework because there's a lot of weight covering both fighters, you know what I mean? For him to even move up to featherweight, 126, would be asking for a lot. Like I said, of course, I would prefer to see the fights between, Nakatani and Bam Rodriguez. I just feel like when you have a pound-for-pound fighter like Inoue, actually all those 3 fighters I just named are pound-for-pound talents. They're all on the list. So when you have this much power in the lower weight divisions, the only way you could get people to consume and watch that is to fight each other. That's when you start building the name even higher. I feel like Inoue's, a big name in boxing, but he's just not that global star yet. But beating the likes of Bam and Nakatani, possibly even by knockout, that would just skyrocket his career.
The superstar of boxing, they don't sell alone. It's really the matchups that sell. And him fighting Nakatani and Bam Rodriguez, it would be a fantastic fight, and it'd sell like crazy.
We don't want to count out Cardenas. We know he's a hungry Mexican fighter, and what other better fighter than to put him up against a rugged Mexican fighter? A guy that is going to bring fans out, even if you don't know who he is. He's got that right passport. He's got the right flag behind him. The Mexican fans go crazy for their fighters. So, of course, I think this will be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts. Of course, I got to go with Naoya Inoue. I just feel like, he's the smarter fighter. He's a pound-for-pound talent. All credit to Inoue. I just feel like he does everything everything right and very few things he does wrong. You can't count out Cardenas, really. He's a fighter coming from pro box, so he doesn't have a lot of eyes on him. But at the same time, sometimes that's what's dangerous. You know, when you underwhelm a fighter, when you underrate a fighter and you don't know much about him and you think he's just going to be a walkthrough, that's when you get your harder fights. Remember when Muhammad Ali lost to a guy with 7 fights? So that just shows us that we can't count out, no matter if you don't know the name or you don't know who he's fighting. Again, Naoya Inoue is something special, and there's a reason they call him the monster. But is the monster ready for Las Vegas? And that's something we got to look forward to. Of course, he's going to be fighting May 4th, which is usually a Canelo superstar weekend. You know, you got Cinco de Mayo the next day. But to be honest, who cares, man? I think he's still going to fill out Las Vegas. I think the Mexicans are still going to be riding with him. So we'll just really have to wait and see. Is the monster ready for Las Vegas May 4th? You guys let us know down in the comments below. Thank you guys again for tuning in. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm your boy, Mac. Thank you guys once again for tuning into the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we're out.